Hello, Mark King here. There's a story. This was like a few days ago, um, maybe even a week ago. No, the story isn't as bad as the headline makes it out to be, but it's another one of those things that's just like, here come the communists, and it's just like it gets tiring sometimes. Not so much talking about it, but another article of them pushing nonsense. Anyway, it's the virus might break the nuclear family. That wouldn't be a bad thing. Statistically, only thing that works is a nuclear family. Anything that's not a mother or father usually is not that good. It's terrible. Terrible for the kids, terrible for civilization, terrible for boys and girls, terrible for environment, terrible for community, terrible for population at large. This is why you get wacky individuals. This is like my belief system. Like this is why like fathers should decide who their daughters date. For example, women have very poor logic system built up. That doesn't have to do with the story. It's just like, look, it's the truth. Again, people hate seem to be hate people who tell the truth but love people who lie. It's something that just happened in the past 20 years as you see more single parent led by woman households. It's something to keep your pulse on to see where it goes. Anyway, this has to do with the pandemic, and like I'll just read some of it. The grandparents across the U.S. are locked away in retirement homes far away from children, so essentially they're not allowed to see their children and call it a tragic waste of human potential. So many of the grandparents will be lavished love and support for their on their grandchildren, freeing up working age people to do their jobs in an alien economy instead of passing their final days alone. Again, how can these people like worry people passing away alone when they're doing everything to make sure people end up alone? The mislead women into thinking they can, and they tell men they can't. Again, I see it in the school system. I see it as okay. So reality is very different from online. You go outside, I don't see people claiming this nonsense because nobody talks about this nonsense. So maybe that's really it. Online, this dumb nonsense exists because people actually engage in it. Outside, people live their daily lives. Women do the shopping. Women do the quote unquote taking care of the child. The men do the working. The men do the hard work. The men do whatever, right? So let's continue. Let's see where this leads to. The nuclear family, a home populated by parents and children alone, is often considered the default human norm. Absolutely. But historically and across cultures, the extended family, multiple generations living together and sharing burdens, pains, and joy of domestic life, has been true default. Okay, so I'm actually in favor of the nuclear family, right? So the way it works is like in cultures, every culture but the United States, right? Your kids live with you until they're ready to get married, essentially, right? The United States is just effed. And the theory is what happened is that the government saw opportunity to basically, well, add more taxation. This is why they forced women out of the household and was pushed heavily by the communists in the 70s. It added more money to the government and a stronger government because now the government became the fathers, the husbands. And women naturally listen to men. People don't want to, people online, the academics don't want to say it, but they all know it deep down inside. I believe everybody knows a lot of these truths is that they don't want to admit it to themselves. Okay? So, anyway, the nuclear family gradually became widespread only after the Industrial Revolution when a centralized factory based economy made the smaller form of family economically advantageous, since it could uproot from extended families and follow work wherever it led. The initial iteration husband's incomes could support the entire household. Again, this was up until the 1960s or 70s, besides mass immigration, because the government openly pushed women out of the household and because they wanted two incomes, okay? But the division labor is hardly the norm today when a dual breadwinner model is often required for households. Okay, so there's no such thing as a dual breadwinner. One person's always the breadwinner, okay? And it's like if you're a man, you have to be the breadwinner just based on statistics. Although marriage is again, I say marriage is actually very strong when two people are educated, right? If you have a man who isn't educated as the woman, it's probably not gonna work. Men should avoid that situation. Let the women who value education have been given things in life. Let them keep the education. They just won't have a man or family. They won't. You know. Okay, so but the rise of the two breadwinner home has created a pass the baton argument whereby many parents spend time working for wages while paying someone else to mind for their children. Before you get in a relationship, or if you're trying to date, right, you should find out what a woman's head's at. If she says anything about liberalism, abandon her, leave her, forget it. Don't even pursue a relationship. Don't. That doesn't mean like wham bam and leave. Just avoid altogether. It just doesn't make sense. Why put yourself through that when you know how it's gonna end? She's nuts. So anyway, so this talks about those who cannot pay strangers. Essentially, this is a communist talking point about like how the government should pay for child care needs and basically pay people to take care of their kids if you don't know where this is headed. Okay. So let's see how they pat women in the back here. A large chunk of income watch their children while also paying others. Nursing homes and retirement communities to essentially quarantine their elderly parents. These professional caregivers tend to be women. True, but let's continue, okay? Who in turn find often lower quality childcare for their own children and parents while they provide bespoke care for their children or parents of more well to do. Again, it's not always default, and it needed to remain the default. In 1940, 25% of Americans lived in multi-generational homes, plummeted to 12% in 1980, the lowest in American history, but has been climbing since 18% in 2012. I have friends, again, because I'm living in a multi-ethnical area. um they have to live with their parents all their lives, even with their wives. That's okay. And in my mind, like, look, they have their own living space, they can do what they want, they just have to share a household essentially. That's fine. Parents take care of the kids. I think that's the way it should be. Parents should take care of the kids. But as we know, the government, they tell women, no, they don't need no man, and then women end up alone or end up without the fathers. And the government steps in. The government's evil. The government should never take care of somebody else's child. Okay, the government's not the father. It's not the government's responsibility. This is why women tend to vote to expand the government. Women don't understand exactly what they're doing. The logic points, the neuroticism and narcissism, it's there. Hence, you see all these women in TikTok. Stay away. If someone is in TikTok, stay away also. Anyway, shortly after the pandemic, Columbia School of Public Health said older Americans face the epidemic of loneliness. Yes, because you should have kids. Citing 1 in 3 Americans aged 50 to 80 report lonely. Again, a lot of these women now, right, are going to end up lonely in life. They're not going to have husbands. They're not going to have kids. Who's going to visit you when you're sick? Who's going to take care of you? Who's going to say, I love you? No one. Now, women need this more than men. It's mind-boggling. And all this right here, all this that this person is writing is cognitive dissonance. All this is cognitive dissonance. If you want something, shouldn't you be the best person you can to get it? Shouldn't you do what's always right? It just doesn't make sense to continuously do something wrong and expect great results. It doesn't. So anyway, government can help by making things more humane in the short term by guaranteeing paid parental leave and access to high quality child care regardless of income, even by paying family members to stay home and care for our child during the first 3 years of life. Again, it's trying to pass responsibility, right? People have to be responsible for money. They have to be responsible for your own actions. This is basically trying to take responsibility from people, and this always expands. Okay, this always expands to some horrible place that should never go. That's why you should never ban any words. When you start banning one word, there'll be more words. The people are all insane. These Russian Post. I didn't give credit to the writer for the opinion piece. It's Ian Marcus Corbin. Okay, the co-director of the Human Network Initiative at, of course, Harvard Medical School. Harvard. Oh boy. Alright, so I'm gonna leave it at that. You can check this out yourself. There's probably some great comments, I hope. Oh, zero comments. No. Anyway. Again, reject government in your lives. Okay, the government. Okay, so the government should be there for guidance, never to tell you what to do. Okay, the government should be never involved in anything in your life. That's the truth. Okay, the government should never be involved that deeply. But as you know, things have kept getting expanded and expanded. Now the government shows up everywhere and enforce laws, and and it hurts seeing a lot of men out there struggle. Just the government is against you. Okay, particularly if you're a man, because the government wants power, and they gain power through certain ethnicities and certain gender voting for them. So they'll always pander them because they don't have the ability to say no. I don't want free stuff. Okay, I'll leave it at that. I just had to shed light on this. Take care, share, save, subscribe. Just keep doing what you're doing. Everything's going right. The curve is going down. So hopefully by summer, we're gonna have the I'll have my little Hawaiian shirt going. Be good. I'll pretend to be Magnum PI. Guys, all right. Take care. Share, save, subscribe.